Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about the best beach cities to live in Europe. So if you want to live at the seaside in Europe, enjoy a good urban infrastructure, a low cost of living, and possibly low taxes, this video is for you. So we are going to start with the criteria I used when choosing a beach city to live in Europe. And you can use the same criteria also to choose different cities, ones which are not on this list. The first aspect you should consider is safety. Especially in Southern Europe, there are cities which are less safe and countries which are more safe. So in this list I try to consider also the safety aspect when choosing the best beach cities to live in Europe. The second aspect is cost of living. Some places in Europe are obviously much more expensive than others. If you want to live in Monaco, for example, your cost of living will be very high and your lifestyle will not be necessarily better than if you would live, for example, 100 kilometers down in Italy from Monaco. The third aspect to consider is residence permits and visa policies. If you are an EU citizen, that doesn't affect you very much, but if you are a citizen coming from outside the European Union, you will need a residence permit to live in all countries on this list. Then another important aspect is real estate prices. Real estate prices vary greatly from country to country, from region to region within the same country, and we also consider this to make our list. Finally, connectivity. Some beach cities in Europe have easy access to airports and train stations, but other places are more secluded. I also try to choose places which are not very hard to get to if you're coming from the US or from any major city in Europe. And before we start with the actual content, I have to say this for the YouTube algorithm as always. So if you want to travel, move or invest abroad, hit the like button, check our other videos, you can also write me, you can book a consultation call, and most importantly, subscribe! Let's start! Our first city is Valencia in Spain. Valencia is probably one of the most underrated beach cities in Europe. If you want to enjoy the Spanish coast in a city with a highly developed infrastructure, but with prices much more inviting than Barcelona, Valencia is for you. Valencia's infrastructure is quite developed, and the city is well connected to other parts of Spain by train, including the high-speed AVE train. You can get to Madrid in just under 2 hours, for example. Real estate in Valencia is significantly cheaper than Madrid and Barcelona. So if you want to move to Spain, you have to consider that prices in Madrid and Barcelona are very high, but in other cities, prices tend to be much lower, and that's the case in Valencia. Considering the size of Valencia, you will never feel bored or missing the big city life. For example, if you want to move to a beach city in Spain, it might be secluded, real estate might be cheap, but you might feel often bored. That's definitely not the case in Valencia. And then, talking about Spain as a whole, when we talk about residence permits, Spain offers residence permits for non-EU citizens who wish to retire or work independently in the country. That's a sound advantage to the city and to Spain as a whole. However, if Valencia is still too big for you, there are many smaller but still quite robust cities on the Spanish Mediterranean coast, such as Malaga, Cadiz and Alicante. The second city on this video is Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon is one of the best cities in Europe all around. As a matter of fact, it would be so even if Lisbon wouldn't be at the seaside. The best beaches in Lisbon are in fact in the district of Lisbon, of which the city of Lisbon is the capital. Among the best beaches in the Lisbon district, we have Tamariz Beach in Estoril and the beach in Cascais, both easily accessible by train from Lisbon city center. Lisbon has an excellent transport infrastructure and a great nightlife. Same as Valencia, you will rarely get bored. Maybe Lisbon is even better than Valencia in Spain. Portugal is one of the easiest countries to immigrate in the European Union if you are a non-EU citizen. You can check our video on moving to Portugal and you will find out that there are visa classes for self-employed persons, retirees and people willing to invest in real estate. There are other beach areas you should consider in Portugal if you are looking for a calmer atmosphere and lower prices. As you may know, properties in Lisbon and in the surrounding areas are the most expensive in Portugal by far. You have other options such as Porto and also the famous Algarve region. The next city on the list is Split, Croatia. Split is definitely one of the best beach cities in Central and Southern Europe. It is the largest Croatian city on the Adriatic coast. Just the capital Zagreb, which is not at the seaside, is larger than Split in terms of population. Split has everything one can expect from a beach city. A nice promenade, many beaches around the city, and a thriving nightlife. Apart from its beautiful beaches, Split has some of the most well-preserved old towns on the Adriatic coast. Despite Croatia being a relatively affordable country, Split is actually quite expensive. That is especially true if you're looking for real estate in the city. So in Croatia we have a very peculiar situation in which the capital is actually much more affordable than cities at the seaside such as Split, Dubrovnik or even Zadar. One of the most complicated aspects about living in Croatia is that there are not many good residence permit options if you are a non-EU citizen who would like to stay more than 1 year in the country. If you are an EU citizen, it will be pretty easy to move to Croatia. If we go a little bit south from Split in Croatia, we will get to the next city, which is Budva in Montenegro. Budva is one of the smallest cities in this list, with a population of just 20,000 inhabitants. The city is currently facing a huge development uptrend, with many new buildings coming up every year. Budva is one of the most exclusive beach locations in Montenegro, offering a decent infrastructure and a relatively low cost of living. The city, along with the rest of the Montenegrin coast, is attracting a growing number of foreigners. One of the reasons for that is that it is relatively easy to get a residence permit in Montenegro for both EU and non-EU citizens. Currently, Montenegro is not part of the European Union. Montenegro allows you to get a residence permit by buying property and is currently in talks to join the European Union. It is also possible to get a residence permit in the country by opening a company. You can also check our video on how to move to Montenegro for more details. Apart from Budva, there are many other interesting cities and towns on the Montenegrin coast, such as Bar, Tivat, Kotor and Herceg Novi. The next city as we travel further south is Corfu in Greece. Corfu is one of the best beach cities in Europe for a number of reasons. Corfu is actually an island on the northwestern tip of Greece, in the Ionian Sea. It has a population of slightly more than 100,000 inhabitants, and it actually has a pretty good infrastructure. The island has an international airport, serving many cities in Europe, although a good chunk of the flights are actually seasonal. As part of Greece, if you want to live in Corfu, you actually have a number of possibilities in terms of acquiring a residence permit. Apart from EU citizens who just have to register their stay, you can move to Corfu by investing in property through the Greek Golden Visa or by starting a business and meeting the financial requirements to get a residence permit. There is also a residence permit in Greece for retirees, and currently Greece has some of the lowest taxes on pension income. This is a new law, and for some countries you will just pay a 7% tax on your pension from abroad. So if you receive your pension from the US, in Greece it will only be taxed at a rate of 7%. The next city might be not a very well-known one. It is Batumi, Georgia. Batumi is the second largest city in the country of Georgia and the largest coastal city in the country. Batumi has been growing steadily as a resort destination on the Black Sea. This can be witnessed through the unusual architecture in some of its newest buildings. Although the city has a relatively high population and a decent infrastructure with many shops, supermarkets, and a relatively large mall, the transportation connectivity is not so good. There are many flights to the Batumi airport, but they are mostly to cities in Eastern Europe. There are also direct trains to the country's capital Tbilisi, in a ride that takes 5 hours. Georgia is pretty flexible in terms of residence permits. You can get a residence permit by investing $100,000 in real estate. There are also other options for freelancers and business owners. For these categories, the financial requirements are actually lower. Then we move to the next city, which is in Turkey, a country divided with part of its territory in Asia and part in Europe. We're gonna talk about the city of Antalya. Antalya is one of the best beach cities in this list, although it is actually in the Asian part of Turkey. The cost of living in Antalya is the lowest among the cities in this list, much due to the current economic crisis in Turkey. The local currency, the lira, has been steadily losing value versus the US dollar, the euro, and other major international currencies. Antalya is one of the largest cities in this list, with a population of more than 2 million inhabitants. And apart from Antalya itself, there are many interesting beach cities in the region surrounding it, called the Turkish Riviera. It is quite easy to move to Turkey regardless of your citizenship. There are many residence permits available both for people which want to start a business in Turkey or if you just want to retire in the country. It is also possible to acquire Turkish citizenship with a relatively low investment in the Turkish property market, starting at 250,000 US dollars. That's it for the list of the best beach cities in Europe. If you have another city you would like to see on this list, please write down in the comment section and write also why you chose this city. And as always, to finish the video, if you want to travel, move or invest abroad, hit the like button, check our other videos, and contact me to book a consultation call if you want to move abroad. And finally, the most important thing of them all, subscribe! See you next time!